Now you are aware of the physics in the spiritual world compared to that in the physical world. We will talk about the geography of both worlds. As I already told you, geography was one of my best subjects in school. I was fascinated by understanding why it rained, why, or should I say, how the earth rotated and how there was a day and night. One of the most interesting thing I learned from geography was how do winters and summers occur. I was able to understand how volcanoes erupted, how earthquakes occurred, how rivers formed. It was so fascinating. After studying geography, when I looked up in the sky, I just didn't see the blue sky, but I saw layers of atmosphere. It was so interesting to know about the mantle and the molten rocks inside the earth. That is on the physical geography aspect. In the human aspect, demographics fascinated me. The mortality rates across various periods of life, the various economic systems and political systems, understanding population growth, the history of various places. All this made me so joyful when I studied geography. Maybe that is why when I meditate, I also try to find the geography of the spiritual world. Of course, it's very different from the physical world because we cannot sense it with our various sense organs. But if it is a world, then there must be a geography in that spiritual realm too. When I close my eyes, I experience various atmospheres. I feel that the climate is different when I go to different places in my meditation. I feel that my mood or the mood that occurs during that meditation is some kind of weather. It seems that even the spiritual world has come some kind of diurnal cycle, although it is not exactly constant like in the physical world. Emotions are the rivers in the spiritual world, and so are volcanoes. The mythological place of the Shambhala could be one example of a location in the spiritual world. But for me, the way I saw it is that every place on earth, every continent, every country had to have parallel in the spiritual world. So lots of cities would result in some kind of feelings, as well as lots of trees and in another kind of feelings. I would imagine that there would also be pollution in the spiritual world, and that would lead to corruption of our thinking and feeling. Then I would also think that there would be some kind of demographics in the spiritual world. This would be young souls versus old souls, male souls versus female souls, and so on. I tried my best to develop the economics of the spiritual world. I talked about it a lot, although I did not call it economics at that time in my earlier book, The Unified Theory of Motivational Living, Part 1. So for me, geography has always been an inspiration. It would be boring not to have those various components of geography when you are meditating. It's not only to kill the boredom that I have introduced meditation in unified meditation teachings of mine. You need to have some kind of structure to move around while you are meditating. There must be some kind of theory that explains how that spiritual world of yours behaves. So as you can see in the diagram, on the left hand side, you have the various subtopics of the geography of the physical world. It's divided into two parts, the physical geography and the human geography. Many of those I already mentioned in the above section. In the physical world, all those things are observable and measurable. In addition, what we observe and measure, other living people can either validate or invalidate. However, in the spiritual world, the various concepts of geography that we bring in are not necessarily true for more than one person. It's a purely mental concept that has some basis of truth, but it is not designed to be the basis of universal agreement. The geography in the spiritual world is thus highly personalized. You can say it's like the concept of heaven and earth and hell. Nobody really knows if they exist, but if enough people believe in a certain concept of these entities, then it almost becomes a reality. Because of that agreement among enough number of people, this concept of heaven, earth, and hell provide guidelines for the various souls to progress in their spiritual journey in life and upon death. However, while I was meditating, I found that the concepts of geography that we had about the spiritual world, which is namely heaven, earth, and hell, were highly limited. And so I developed new theories. They would help any person who is serious about meditating understand more about the spiritual world. So, whereas today's world of meditation and religion are like a stage in geography where we did not know about the inner composition of the earth or the knowledge of a stratosphere and the properties of space, or even how it rained or how the monsoon only occurred at a certain period of the year and not another. Basically, what I am claiming is today's knowledge base is very shallow. So, with this book and my earlier books, I wanted to expand our knowledge of the geography of the spiritual worlds. As you can see in the diagram, I have compared the climate and atmosphere with the Format 1, Format 2, and Format 3 geography. You will recall that they are the various strategies of success and happiness we follow. I'll talk in more details later on about this concept, but what I just want to tell you now is that I'm just adding more details and depth to the geography of the spiritual world that was handed over to us from the various scriptures of the past. It has been enough for some enlightened souls to find their way in that world with that limited geographical knowledge of the spiritual world. However, it is not enough for a mass of souls to get enlightenment and be liberated. They will need more guidance and navigation tools and understanding of this geography of that particular world in order to survive and to escape the gravitational pull of the earth and enter into the space. Also, they'll need more knowledge in order to gain more spiritual powers in the form of blessings, that is, increasing their economic status. Many of the souls' job would be to make this world a better place, and they would need to have to deal with economics of blessings and curses. That we'll discuss later on also in the spiritual world. How do you do that if you don't understand the geography of that world? So, knowing the geography of the spiritual world is very important. I do not know if my teachings will gain wide acceptance or it will be lost in the obscurity of unpublished writers. But I believe that it's my duty to write about my findings. So, the geography of the spiritual world is as shown in the diagram on the right hand side. I've taken a parallel to the physical geography and divided into spiritual field geography and the soul geography. I have developed the cause effect models of why people tend to have a certain way of thinking during certain period of time, and then another one and another period of time. We refer to them as the golden age, the renaissance, and so on. My theory is that all these are controlled by the format 1, format 2, format 3 systems. And then why do some places are able to live in peace with one another and others are always at war? Well, these are again this geography of the religion and belief heritage. It's like the topography of that place. That is the belief. Again, we'll talk more about that later on. What you must understand is I'm trying to give a framework and understanding to as much as possible in the spiritual world so that when we meditate, we can find our longitudes and latitudes very easily. Again, borrowing from the physical geography. Even during my meditation, I felt that there was a lot of politics going on among the disembodied souls. And so I devised a concept around it. See, you need to have a theory at least that can be proved right or wrong upon experimentation during meditation. Unified meditation is a science. So I am experimenting with various theories of geography. The various theories and concepts that I have laid out are tested as far as it concerns me in the last few decades. I have improved on them, and some have failed, and the ones that I'm presenting are those that have not failed yet, and whose predictions are pretty accurate. Finally, the most important part of the spiritual geography is the karmic economics. As I just mentioned earlier, the currency is the blessings and the curses. But I'll explain that later on because it's a very important concept that needs its own dedicated explanation. This theory helped me explain why I felt happier and more powerful over the years upon meditation. Also, it helped me explain why some people are miserable and so on. So, in unified meditation, the more theories you have, the more understanding you have about the geography of the spiritual world, the easier it is to move around and do things.